Well, that's a way to open it up. Welcome, everybody, to the Slab Lounge, hosted by the three Kwamis, Doug Medhen, Kevin Bradley, and Robert Haywood. Tyler has left us to pursue his other bits, and by other bits, it's just his Marvel project. That's all I'm going to say about it. Much as I want to talk about the drama, you could just read all about that in Robert's Rant's X-Men diss track, which was very hilarious. That being said, there will be no sponsorships. In fact, the reason why, for the record, there's some context that is needed here. See, I wanted to watch The Dirty Pair right off the bat. An anime Captain K suggested right after when we were watching Cyber City Oedo 808, and we were just MST3King that. The reason why I was going to, in fact, I wasn't even going to do Slab Lounge this week, largely because the internet connection issues that I've been having last week, or rather, not last week, well, yeah, last week and the week beforehand, which forced the delay. In fact, the last episode of the Slab Lounge wasn't even released on its slotted date. It was released on Thursday. But there are two reasons as to why I decided to Slab Lounge this week. One, I saw in the news Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is trying to do damage control, saying, "It's not my fault the Shazam 2 and Black Adam movie sucked," when clearly people were doing that. Oh my god, people are blaming him hard.
Wait, hold up. He's trying to blame did the Shazam 2 flop? I did not know it. I knew Black Adam flop. And
no, I
didn't know?
Heard they did. I recently had heard he was trying to go into damage mode control, but I didn't bother to go read it. But
right, because it's like I know that Black Adam flopped, and I also know like they wanted to put Black Adam at the end of the first Shazam movie to put them together, and he was like, "No, I don't want to be tied down to that." So I mean, that's all you, bro. You can't be tied. You can't not be tied and not want to tie together.
Yeah.
You didn't know Shazam 2 was a bust? Really? I thought you were.
I didn't watch the Shazam first one or the second one, but I thought it can't go worse than Black Adam.
Oh,
but
no.
Again, I should have known by how much they were pushing that shit. They were saying #1 movie in the world. Anytime anyone says it's #1 movie in the world, straight up lie.
Well, here's the weird thing about that, about Shazam 2. The director, Michael Levy, I think, or, like, I know his last name's Levy. I don't know if it's Michael or not. But,
like, it's either Michael or Daniel.
Something like that. When he was pissed. I mean, pissed. Because he was all like, oh, yeah. No, like, the reasons why Shazam 2 Wrath of the Gods flopped is because Warner did not give me access to the marketing resources that they're giving to James Gunn. He was angry AF. So much so that Time Warner, like...
Okay. What do you mean marketing? It's like, all I've seen for the past fucking 2 months was them pushing this Shazam movie so fucking hard. Like, I've barely seen anything besides that Twitter shit from James Gunn. I've barely seen anything about any other DC shit except for this horrible movie and whatever CW's doing with Gotham Knights.
Oh, that atrocity. No, we did not speak of that thing.
Wait, guys. I thought, like, the CW DC stuff was actually, decent to good.
No. That's past stuff.
Yeah, that was way past. That was like the first season of The Flash.
Yeah, it's like that. Things have shifted in the background. So the towards the end of a lot of those shows that were doing good, you noticed a sudden change, and then every show after that, you're kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, because like they were doing okay with CW because they were doing okay with The Flash the first season, maybe second season. Then they brought in the Green Arrow, horrible. And when it was like, okay, we still had iZombie. iZombie's still carrying that shit. Then they ruined it.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
But if I remember correct, correctly, I think there was somewhere in there was a writer that left who was like a mainstay. It was a writer or it was somebody that was involved in basically the storying and the characters that left. And then they just kind of replaced them, so the dynamic of everything changed. So
yeah, there was just a time where everything just became shit. All their shows became shit.
yeah.
And it's probably around that time, and it's just like, yep.
It
And then
all
all of a
hit
sudden,
one big swarm. It happened.
Wow.
and then they started taking on bad projects like Batwoman or Batgirl, and then changing the character after one season.
It, so it's just it's a lot.
Oh,
It's
wow.
That's
Jeez.
why I said
point is-
I don't want to even speak on it because it's a lot.
But the point is
have
that
enough time.
I don't know what they're saying that the marketing's giving all the money to James Gunn. No. All I've seen was them pushing horrible shit on two different networks, the CW and the film industry, and that was Shazam for the longest fucking time. They were pushing Shazam hard, and I never watched any of the Shazams, but from the commercials I saw from the second one, what you're giving the other orphan kids powers too? That's just lazy writing.
Well,
Yes, they must all be orphan power.
All
well, for
orphan
the,
powers. If we're gonna do this, we gotta make it an orphan rangers. You can't have one's the best and all the rest are crappy. You gotta do a orphans, rangers, power rangers, and give these people Zords. Like, it doesn't work without it.
hey, you won't hear any argument from me. The only thing I'm only going to say is, I know there are multiple Shazams, and I'm not just talking about Billy Batson or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
he's got
changed.
some old man giving around powers. He's just out here giving powers. It's just like the Green Lantern shit.
And I know in one multiverse they at least did the whole multiple kids are what makes Shazam, which I'm not against that even, but it's like it's kind of weird to have like here's Shazam. Now all these other kids who never had anything now are important. Because usually most story things was always him returning back to the orphanage or those kids to ground him down. Now you're going to have piped up, powered kids with you.
Right.
So it changes the dynamic of the story, because before, anytime he wasn't in that mode, he could go to everybody else and be like, yes, I'm a regular person. This is everything that, people normally go through. And he would learn lessons through it. But if his friends are superpowered, then you're basically doing Titans.
Exactly. It's like you don't have like Spider-Man where Mary Jane suddenly gets powers and other people get powers. Like, no, bro. Like, that just ruins everything, man.
Like, it makes sense, because even with Spider-Man, Mary Jane's thing, and even Felicia's thing, Felicia worked for a while. Because it was
Felicia.
a whole... It was a whole... She was there. You get interested. Okay.
Oh, but how that all unfolded. Oh my god, that was so fucking funny. Oh, Jesus. For those... Okay. I'm pretty sure they're gonna change this if they ever tackle Felicia in the cinematic universe. But for those who want to know, here's how Felicia's character even came out. First of all, Felicia Hardy, really, really snobby, really, really rich. Yes, she's Black Cat, but that's we'll tackle that later on.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
How Felicia came out and about. This is true. I know I'm off. I know I'll be off in the timeline a little bit. So here's what happened. Peter Parker, Mary Jane, they went out on a date. He pops the big questioner on this dinner date. He's like, Mary Jane, will you marry me? Mary Jane laughs in his face. She's all like, sorry, Tiger, I don't want to be tied down. And then disappears for 40 issues, and then Felicia comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Officially, even in the original 90s cartoon, it happened. It just wasn't a drawn out like season or anything, but there was a series of episodes where she was just like, nah. And then Spider-Man's constantly hanging out with Black Cat.
Yeah. In fact,
So then you're just like, oh, I guess this is the new love interest?
on that note,
The
though,
rebound cat.
On that note, though, they didn't keep that in the '90s cartoon. I wish they did, because here's where it gets even more hilarious. So, Black Cat and Spider-Man, they're hanging out. They're finally like, okay, let's reveal each other's secret identities. She reveals herself to be Felicia Hardy. He's like, holy shit, no way. Spider-Man takes off his mask and is Peter Parker. Felicia's all like, put the mask back on. Oh God, I was hanging out with you? I swear to God, she was so nutted out by the fact that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. And then she fucks off.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because they saw how everybody loved Black Cat when they animated her. And then they were like, okay, we gotta make her actually be into him. Like, we gotta make this stay. She's getting us money.
There's still fans and stuff that's been waiting for Marvel to do a standalone series with Black Cat and put them in the movies, and they thought with the new Tom Holland Spider-Man they'll do it. They still won't. I don't know why. Like, it is Marvel's just refusing to give another easy win when you just have a woman's series. Like, this is like easy, right? Easy PC points, right? Like,
nah, they can't. Well, it wasn't their idea. They were told by the fans.
That's the only reason they're not doing it, because it's not our idea. It's like, no.
Like, fans told us, no, we can't do that.
or Bob Iger saving it for us, like, one time when shit hits the fan, I'm just gonna announce it. I'm just saving this to save my skin for some reason.
Well, honestly, I have another reason not to give a damn about Marvel, the MCU Phase 4. Well, I'll still stand by the whole, like, you know, don't judge Season 4, Phase 4 just on Ant-Man 3, because Ant-Man's still a shit character, no matter how much you try to say otherwise.
Ant-Man wasn't gonna save Phase 4. Ant-Man wasn't gonna save shit. Paul Rudd never saves anything. He's just
Look,
there.
it was gonna be hard for Ant-Man to carry a whole phase.
Yeah.
Like, they rolled him out like he was gonna be the maker of dreams and all this. And it's like, unless you were gonna reveal that, like, Adam Warlock was sitting inside Ant-Man's suit, nah. Nah, it wasn't about to happen. I'm sorry.
I think Ant-Man would have a better thing instead of doing the movies if they did the series like Loki. I think Paul Rudd is made for series standalone episodes. Like, that's his bread and butter, right? I mean, you put a little Josh Segal in there, whatever, or Jason Segal, or whatever. Like, you know the guy from How I Met Your Mother? He was also I Love You Man.
Jason Segel.
Jason Segel.
Yeah, you put him in there with Paul Rudd, and like, you just got a series. It's like,
you're right.
To be a real light series. Like, it's just a funny series with Paul Rudd in it. Like,
you're right. Because Paul Rudd can go the raunchy route, and if you ever watch like Jason Segel off camera, he's got a mouth.
Oh yeah, no, he's not how he's ever really portrayed.
He's not. I really like to see Jason Segel's raunchy side, like, on camera.
Right, and the series would have worked for the raunchiness, because like movies, like, okay, we only have a certain amount that we can work with because we're gotta do a certain runtime, and we actually have to follow a fucking plot at some point. Series, you don't really have to. It's just like, here's Ant-Man, there you go. And he has them in front of a friend. We're not really having a series. We're just having a show.
Yeah, but like I said, I have another reason to not care about Phase 4 now, because like it's leading up to the Secret Wars. I'm like, guys, you're really gonna take the Secret Wars and make it work? Really? That shit sucks.
Or are they gonna do movies for Secret Wars or show?
God,
show or movie?
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's gotta be a movie, because it's the Secret Wars.
Does it though? Like, that's the problem. I'm saying, when you do movies, you're putting time constraints on you, and no one wants another fucking James Cameron.
They have been kind of instituting a bad habit of doing things in the opposite of what they should be. Like, some of them that probably would have worked better as a movie, they've been like, let's make a series, and you're like, no, you should have just did the movie.
Right.
And then the other one where you're like, we did a movie, and you're like, you didn't give enough information. This should have been a series.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all of it was give you. If they would have did it right, they could get way more money. But nope.
Because officially, if Eternals had been a series, it probably would have been more interesting because you would have had time to build and not just suddenly slapping people into the scene.
Wait, I thought Eternals was a series
for this reason.
No, but they made the movies, and there's way too many characters for that movie for it to make sense. And you to
for the amount of time that you're watching that movie, if you aren't even remotely familiar with who they are, that movie's still like, who the fuck is that? Why? What? There's too many twists, there's too many turns, but if it was longer, if it had been broken apart into parts sufficiently, it could have worked. But trying to slap everybody with information all at once, and before they can fully process something, you've got to deal with something new that's being slapped at you at the same time. Because it's like, here's the main plot, now here's this character, right? Then go find this character. Then you find out this character's weird and quirky, but you don't have any time to question that because other characters showed up. And then, oh no, main boss bad is here. And you're like, there's no time. There's no...
Okay.
There's no time for nothing in there. Like, you can see them talk, but everything is moving on a clock because they need to get everybody's information out.
That's why they could have did an 8-part miniseries, 1 hour. They could have did it 1 week, or...
They could have did it the same length as Loki.
Yeah. Right.
And each episode would have just expanded each part, but let the plot still move forward, as opposed to just cramming social interactions with battle and flashbacks of how you were and the knowledge of how the existence began in one movie.
Well, because like a 20-minute background of why this guy is fucking pissed off enough to kill a whole planet, like, I need more exposition than that. Like,
the movie ends up making you ask more questions, and there's no follow up of anything and anything ever because no one liked the movie. So there's no push to be like, oh, why don't we answer the things we set up?
Ooh, and then when you did a series, they could have those after scenes extra where they always have like, we decided to do this direction.
Yeah.
When they have that shit, like they did with The Last of Us. They have those after the inside scenes, which will always help too, especially if you didn't play the fucking video game.
Well, right there, you guys just keep proving my point even further. Oh yeah, because Marvel has such a perfect track record. No one wants to talk about the Eternals. I honestly thought that was a series. I didn't know that was just it was a movie.
Well, it would have functioned better, and you'd think it would have been a series, but nope.
Yeah, because I heard nobody... The only thing I knew about the Eternals was, like, nobody liked it. Like, nobody liked it. And thus it was in the bin of we just don't talk about it, along with Ghost Rider and, I guess, Ant-Man 3. Which, on that note, the guy who played Kang was...
nowhere. Like, a lot of people don't read the comic books for the Eternals, and they brought it out as a major fucking movie where no one knew who the fuck they were. It just looked like they were trying to get some Indian diversity on the screen, honestly.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
They did pick good actors for.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I would say he's like, I forget the guy's name, but he did a good job in Telltale's Walking Dead series. He did a good job in Silicon Valley. I forgot the guy's name. Huh?
Never watched it, but I know him. He's like a B to A list guy. Like, I've seen him. Yeah, his comedy chops is actually like really legit. So I was fine with him being cast. When he announced that he was going to be in the Eternals, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that. His comedy chops are good. Yes, his comedy chops are actually legit good. And it's not like he hasn't done serious roles. He was awesome in Last of Us season, what was it, 2? When he was playing that one dude with his arm chopped off and he was trying to be like this backstabbing prick, but in the end he just gets thrown off the fucking building. Yeah, no, because like he was scared of the dude that he was working for, and the dude just basically shoved his ass off the building. But he did it. He killed it as And what I'm trying to say is he knows how to act in serious roles. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm happy he's in the Eternals. I'm still not going to watch it because I don't care about the Eternals, let alone I don't know anything about the Eternals. I got no...
Even if you found out... I'll put it this way. It's similar to like... Okay. I have to bring up Marvel's other series that was not so great.
What, She-Hulk?
No, further back. Further back.
We talking like when Fantastic Four had its cartoon series? Or like Spider-Man and his Super Friends or whatever the fuck?
Oh, when they did that MODOK series with Disney?
Officially, I didn't see the MODOK one, so I don't know.
I watched the first episode.
I've heard mixed things, so I can't really say anything about it because also Patton Oswalt, so I'm gonna have a weakness.
Yeah, no, okay. I'll say this much because Tyler was pushing it on me, and like I knew Patton Oswalt was in it, but like just a few weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give the first episode a watch. When I watched it, I was kind of happy with where it was going. They did end on a serious note because, like, spoilers, MODOK's wife says she's gonna straight up leave him, and like seeing MODOK in like sad face, I was just all like, okay, do I want to watch the second episode? I mean, there was nothing inherently wrong with them tackling heavy issues, but I was just all like, yeah, I don't feel like.
You weren't sure when you were coming into it for a comedy.
It's more along the lines of, excuse me. It's more along the lines of, I was okay with what I watched, but it wasn't enough to keep me drawn in. I didn't even watch the full, like, I skipped parts because I thought some of those parts were just dragging on, and I was just all like, nope, okay, let's stay here. Oh, I like how that guy's hand got chopped off. Okay, that's actually pretty funny. I like how MODOK's still losing money, and then he actually gets corporatized for a bit. I was like, okay, I can fuck with this. I was honestly more surprised with MODOK's origin, because I thought for some reason MODOK was an alien bounty hunter. But I might be confusing him with something, but I guess I was confused with something else.
No, not that I remember. I don't think he ever had an alien bounty hunter origin.
Yeah, I don't know where my mind was, but overall, I'll say this. It's good, but for me, it just wasn't enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if you guys right now were just all like, hey Doug, we're gonna marathon this, you wanna sit with us? I'd be like, okay, because like I said, I wasn't pissed at what I saw. I was happy with it, but for me it just wasn't enough to draw me in. So take from that what you will. Anyway,
I just felt like it was great. I like Patton Oswalt, but once again, I just feel like because they partnered with Disney, they have to tone down a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. That I can totally
problem I have on there.
Which I will address in a bit, but I'm really curious as to what Captain was going to say, because you were like, oh no, we have to delve further back to the bad Marvel series, and I'm curious, what are you talking about?
Yeah, me too.
Inhumans.
That was theirs?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm like, think about that. Technically, any comic version of Inhumans, even though they're not super possible, you'd be interested. And then you saw what they did with it.
Oh god, I did not know that was theirs.
Yes.
Well, again...
It's in their wheelhouse. It still has it written at the top.
Well, one of the reasons why I suspected they were trying to get the Eternals in the mainstream was because I guess they thought they could strike gold again. For those who don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy, they were never popular. Even in comics, even when comics was at its prime and with the best writing, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they were just shit tier. Hell, Iron Man...
The comics usually shit on Star-Lord, and every so often he'd get a good treatment of, you are right.
Yeah.
Most of the time, nobody really ever did take him seriously at all.
Hell, Iron Man wasn't even top tier back then neither. They just treated him like C tier hero before. They didn't even want to make him like Batman. He was just that guy. That's literally it. They just made him that guy. It was the actor that carried the performance in Guardians' case, Chris Pratt. And in Iron Man's case, Robert Downey Jr. So, like, the actors followed it up with great stride. Eternals it's...
Like I said, it'd be different because I don't want to say that the actors didn't embody their characters. It's just technically you don't know that much about each character, and you don't have time to flesh them out to know if you're really following how they should be.
Right, and that's why
you just met them, and then you're being slapped with like a data sheet, and then battle.
So that's why I was saying for the whatever, that it was better for the series. Plus, the guy's better. Like the actors they got, way better for series more so than movies. I'm just saying they can be okay in movies, but series is where you get that bacon butter. It's also where you can get, extra money for having it serialized on TV.
Well, and rather than trying to put all your banking and hopes in one movie, it's kind of easier to hope on a season, do good on a season, and then know you have another season coming. Instead of being like, oh dear God, can I afford to do a secondary movie?
Right.
Oh God.
And also you might do a spin-off. Maybe only a couple of your characters work. Well, let's just focus on them. Or let's have a spin-off where it's like, only let's do those two people. And
even if they wanted a movie, they should have done a mini-series to warm the world up to it.
To a movie.
Like, you should have went, hey, like, pick one of the arcs that's leading to a big Marvel arc where they have to cross over. Give them a mini-series introducing them, leading to that arc. Then, bring them in the Marvel Universe with their own movie, which will then follow in with a crossover. So that by the time they're actually relevant for the story, like the main continuity story, you're like, oh, I've seen them a few times. I'm aware of who they are. Okay, that's cool. And you're interested. But they, like I said, they just slapped you with them. And then, because it was the same thing with the Inhumans too. If you didn't already know who they were, you're just like, I feel like this is secondary X-Men. And then their interpretation for the series, I was done the moment they shaved Medusa's fucking head.
Yeah,
the moment that hair was cut, I was like, I'm fucking done with it. Her hair cannot fucking just be cut off like you. Their arcs, she is literally at top tier in terms of combat and everything else, let alone the hair powers. Like, physical combat. Her and Storm have, fought. Storm didn't lose. But they have fought. I have to clarify that Storm didn't lose. But they have fought at that arc. And, she still walked away, and she wasn't whipping her hair all around. And then in the series, they're just like, oh, they shaved her hair. Oh, suddenly she's like Samson. She's deactivated. She's just going to sit there for the rest of the movie. It's cool. I mean, the rest of the series. It's cool. And you're like, what? And that's technically episode 1 already fucks you over. Because they pretty much fuck over each character in the story, in the first episode. And then you're just like, I really don't even care how they get out of this, because this is dumb. And then you're over it. Well, you finish it, but it's not going to be worth your life.
It's not going to be worth
sorry,
your life.
You're never getting that time back. It's gone.
Wow. Okay. I was gonna bring this up. Because it goes to the whole why when Disney bought Marvel. This was brought to me. I don't know how. I can't speak on how true this is because I never really. To be fair, I never really looked into it. But the source of information that I got, it was from one of our teachers. I say our by way of me and Captain K, because we went to the same college back in our days of Arizona. He actually did some research on it, right? So when Disney bought Marvel, it was before the first Avengers movie came out. Again, I don't know how true this is, but despite the critical and financial success that the movies were making during Phase 1, Marvel was apparently on the verge of complete. They were running out of money fast. And the investors were not happy because, granted, they were making a lot of money back. They were still losing money hand over fist badly. I mean, really badly. So
that sounds believable, because I don't remember. I remember hearing something about them almost being at bankruptcy state before the MCU was really like fully kicked off the way they want.
Yeah. So take from that what you will, because I was legit shocked when I'm not gonna name that teacher. I know who that teacher is, and like it's someone who was basically out with when we were smoking. We'd see him and he'd smoke with us and he'd just chat it up with us. But like I was just all like, oh man, Disney's buying Marvel, it's gonna suck because now they're gonna be toned down. And he's saying like, yeah, no, trust me, Disney saved Marvel. I'm like, how? He was like, here's how. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because even sometimes when I'm just, hanging around on YouTube looking through stuff, there'll be people's little reports or in-depth things that will show like even the particular comic of certain ones that are big hype now. Oh no. No, before they maybe got a movie or something, they were barely holding on to life. They were.
Well,
nobody
a lot of them, you didn't have a lot of women appeal. Like, you really only had, like, the hardcore women on it. Like, with the Disney, with Marvel stuff, now you kind of got babies and shit. The new clothing for babies and all that stuff. Like, it's almost like how Harry Potter is when you see all these women dressed up in Harry Potter and those sexy little scarves and shit,
Yeah.
On that note,
see,
man,
that proves the point too. In that is because if you also remember during that time that comics were coming back and everybody was starting to complain about more woke things in comics. The things is a lot of those more woke things appeared as they were starting to get their comeback. Like if everything had been working fine before, they would not have changed it. In the slightest.
No, yeah, I totally.
Suddenly,
like a female
we had
door.
things adjusting, and it seems more fan-centric to people. They wouldn't have changed a fucking thing if they had been getting money in the first place.
Right. It's like now they had a female Thor. I remember that backlash. Female Thor? What? No, Thor's a guy. Like, dude, Thor's whoever the hammer chooses, bro.
Yeah.
And on top of that, that's the movie origin. The comic origin is completely different because there was a female Thor. Hell, there's an alien Thor in the comics. There's a whole
Donald Blakeson, I think it is, arc involved in the very beginning, and Thor had to go through more hell to even deal with that hammer, and there was a fucking time limit.
Yeah, it's not Thor. It's some guy who thinks he's Thor.
Yeah.
Or what, are you seeing this shit now with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the Seth Rogen version? And it's like,
I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah, and people was like, how's April Black? It's like, well, originally April was based off his guy's girlfriend who was dark color skin, but they made him light white for fucking toys, and everyone was like, no, I grew up with April being a white dumbass reporter. How dare you change it?
Fuck you!
Like, okay,
like if you're playing,
at 7.
Well, hold on. Anyway, okay. So I was gonna say, like, look, in the late '80s cartoon, like the of TMNT, like she was always portrayed as this just a TV reporter that gets captured a lot and shit like that. If you say that shit now, go ahead and play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. April's the best fucking character in that game. She's quick, her combo potential is sick, and I'm including, what the fuck is his name? Casey Jones in that mix, because he's an unlockable character. So don't you dare come at me and say, oh, they ruined my childhood. First of all, motherfucker, like, Turtles was always, the TMNT cartoon itself was dark as a motherfucker. So, like, when they went when Playmate licensed them out, right?
I think so?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, so when Playmate licensed them out.
Before Hasbro, I think.
Yeah. So, when Playmates had its hands on it, they were just all like, okay, let's just make it family friendly, and let's have the Turtles be addicted to pizza. The rest is history. Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady weren't even in the fucking comic.
Right.
Yeah. And look what happened. When
the whole thing is kind of gross. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have so many different iterations, but it's like that everyone is eyes on this one little thing. It's like, how dare you not make April white? It's like, dude, where are you going with this? It's like, Goku was hot because I used to believe that I was Leonardo, the Green Turtle, fucking the human white girl. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we got more issues
and
here. Yeah.
Black and current Leonardo still would want to with her not being it. So why has your fantasy changed?
Yeah, I mean,
You're still a weird ass turtle, fucking asshole human. Like, that's the more disturbing part.
Well,
right?
see,
Like,
even then, even if you're imagining that, what you're saying is fictional Leonardo, not the envisioned version of that guy. In his mind, fictional Leonardo enjoys diverse April, but he does not. Because fictional Leonardo, when she's changed to being darker skinned, still wants to bang. Nothing changed. And if he's thinking he's Leonardo, you're thinking you're the wrong Leonardo then, because he still wants to bang. If they change, he can get fucked.
It's like, for some reason, you became it's like in your mind that turtles are racist, and like, but who are they fighting? Shredder because they are woke? Like the Lightfoot Army woke?
They're turtles. Why would they give a fuck about your skin? Like, you lack a shell. Like, why would they? Technically, you're probably weird for them. If they've been with turtles and they're like, you know what? I like you. I'm gonna give you a special chance. I'm gonna not be with other turtles. Why don't you feel like it's that? Why you feel like he's settling? Like,
dude,
like he's settling. It's like, bro, in your fantasy, you live underground and you eat your pizza next to where people have shit. Like, this is your world.
Exactly.
This is your world.
Let me switch up let me change the topic, because if you think you're pissed off at that, I'm gonna give you another reason to be pissed off, because this is actually the other reason why I wanted to Slab Lounge, and I honestly don't think we're gonna get to the dirty pairs today. Dude, the RE4-Make dropped, right? It came out, and I'm all like, I didn't like, so I was all like, all right, what's it consist of? They took out the lava puzzle, the giant robot, where you're getting chased by that giant robot. They changed the writing so that way it's not crappy B action horror movie anymore. Plus, they removed the It boss fight, and I'm just all like, oh god. Then the writing, oh my god. So like instead of crappy camp B movie action. B-level action horror movie thing, they actually treat it like super serious, and I'm like, god, they did it again. And and the straw that broke my back was that the chainsaw dude, it's no longer an instant kill. You can actually parry it now. I'm like, what?
you can parry a chainsaw?
Yeah, how do you do that? Like, unless you're chainsaw, man.
That's how do you up the realism and be like, we're gonna take away the camp, but you can parry a chainsaw? Which one I think would be the campiest fucking thing.
The reason why I'm changing the topic up, and it's actually quite fortuitous that you guys brought up the Ninja Turtles and like all how we tackled the nostalgia crowd. The difference here is that, number one, if you wanted to take the Ninja Turtles seriously, I can kind of see why, because it did such a good job being family friendly, etc., that you could get behind that. Resident Evil never had any good writing. Never. No. Resident Evil 4 was the only good one because it was all there, all the bad.
It wasn't taking itself seriously, so that's
it stopped taking itself so seriously. It had shit characters, shit writing, but it was presented in a way that was just all like you could point and laugh at it, and you're just all like, yes, this I can fuck with. Yeah. This can withstand the test.
Wait, are you talking about the game or the movie?
Game.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then they took all that and wanted to make it more nuanced, and while I can appreciate them wanting to keep its nuancedness and stuff like that, you ironically killed the identity of Resident Evil 4 OG version in favor of this more nuanced stuff, despite the fact that you kept elements from the original Resident Evil 4. And you're just like, dude, why? Why? Oh my god, you could have just given us Resident Evil 4 Remake, like, kept all the bad shit in there, and it would have worked so much better. So much better, because that's all it needed, just a graphical touch-up. Just a touch-up. You didn't have to... Oh, but we have to make Ashley Graham more like a victim now. And while I can appreciate that, like, the thing is... You're assuming that you really want to push Resident Evil as a serious story when it really isn't. The writing is just so fucking terrible in all of its games. You just can't, guys. If you're gonna... The only way you can make Resident Evil work is if you go after the shit that didn't work to begin with, man. I mean, like...
That's why I was a House of the Dead player.
Oh... Yeah, no, that's... House of the Dead understands it's the butt of the joke, and it...
Super butt of the joke.
Yeah, and it ironically is taken... And ironically flourishes more because they're just all like, look, what the fuck are we... We're not gonna try to... We're just gonna focus on what video games should be fun, and we know we're the butt of the joke, so let's just be the butt of the joke. And look what House of the Dead Overkill did. They took that... They made it Grindhouse. The black dude said motherfucker more than commas, and it was just one of the funnest experiences you could ever possibly fucking have. And Resident Evil is trying to be like all super serious drama when you know... No! Have you... The RE4-Make and the 3-Make were just so stupid in terms of its writing. And 4... I'm going to... Halo.
But yeah, no,
Halo can be taken...
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
On that.
Halo can be taken seriously. I mean, I don't think it should, because it's the story and writing are stupid, but that approaches itself in a more... Like Halo 4, right? Take Halo 4. Halo 4 was all like, okay, let's focus on what we actually did to these people to make them Spartans, and it's kind of horrible. And they're right, because what they did was super fucked up, especially if you read the novels like I did, on like how many of the people went through the trials. They took children away from their families, replaced them with clones that die after X amount of years, and like all in the name of super soldier serum. And I'm just all like, that's...
Yeah. See,
You didn't have to give him a time-limited clone. Jesus Christ! You
Yeah,
just
like
gave
my
him
thing
a
is
clone.
like, why don't you just take the children? Why do the whole clone thing? Like that's a whole extra unnecessary.
Well, even
step.
with the clone, I could get that so you don't get found out for taking the kids. My question is, why did you need to time limit the clone?
Oh, because they want the...
know to tell anybody. You'd be safe.
Oh, that's because they did that whole, whatchamacallit? They were going by that stupid adage that clones don't last long as the originals, when they actually do. They just, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I was going to say, because I'm like, no, that's just dumb. If I'm going to leave a clone there, I expect it to be there for its lifetime. Its natural
Right,
lifetime, so I don't even have to fucking worry about it again.
Yeah.
Well, I would want the idea of a clone be perfect because now you got body doubles. So if you want to put these super soldiers in like CIA Ops, Black Ops, now you got expendable clones that you can use to be fake people's deaths and shit. Like that's what I would use it for. Since you're already expending them, you already expect them to die. Why not get a second purpose out of them to be a body double just in case shit hits the fan, right?
It's just bad evil organization, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It
like I
bugs
said,
me sometimes.
like I said, Halo has bad writing.
Half incompetent evil organization.
Yeah,
there we go.
Like I said, Halo has bad writing, but at the very least, they have credence to take itself more seriously because they fully acknowledge that the Spartan program is kind of fucked up, and they acknowledge that in Halo 4. And then the other Halos came about. The point I'm trying to make is, Halo has infinitely more reasons to take itself more seriously. Resident Evil doesn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. For the Resident Evil 4, did they bother to get like Nick Cage in this? Like, if we would have got Nick Cage in it,
He's busy.
Well, okay.
He's still Renfielding it up.
well, he's doing it, but like people wouldn't take it super seriously. It's like Nick Cage is in it. Like, okay, like we're not taking this super seriously.
Even then's a gambit, because what if he wants to take it super serious?
Yeah.
Okay, let me put Jack Black in it.
Evil 4.
I didn't even know like there was a Resident Evil CG series Netflix fronted, and I'm just all like,
oh yeah, they basically created their own, like, the same way that Marvel has the cinematic universe and that has its own separate pocket. Yeah, Netflix just basically did that.
Yeah, and it's gonna get another season.
We're gonna do our own little thing and have our own little movies and stuff.
Yeah, I watched part of the first episode, couldn't fuck with it. I was like, nope. I straight up noped out of that because like it was stupid.
And I still to this day feel like Helix, the first season, felt more like Umbrella becoming the organization that we would know, and leading up to being like because it's one of the older sci-fi shows. It got 2 seasons, but I didn't watch the second season, and I know it was weird because they didn't deal with the actual ending of the first season. They just like transported where everybody was and then swapped cast. So I couldn't hook on. But in the first one, it's them like locked in an organization with a weird outbreak, but nobody has memories and stuff. And as it unfolds, it comes off feeling more like what the first Resident Evil movie should have been. Like if you were trapped in the facility and just starting to discover what the fuck's going on. And then as people get their memories, some of them realize, I'm part of the organization. Some seriously just don't know what the fuck's going on. Like they were just a random person that was just like, I worked here, but I didn't know we did this shit. So
fuck the
So it makes it interesting because each character does have its own thing to flesh out, but you still have the whole sciencey, someone made a virus and started this for a reason, but we don't know why, so we have to figure that out too vibe in the background.
Mm-hmm. Fuck Capcom and the RE-Makes. I mean, like, and what are they gonna do with Resident Evil 5 or 6? Those two, and then okay, let's say those two are done. What, are they gonna remake Resident Evil 7? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, they got that Mila Jovovich chick who's always just cashing in on this shit, so she's like, cool, make another movie, I don't care.
I mean, to be fair, she does it because she enjoys the series, and then, because Monster Hunter was something she acknowledged. She likes the Monster Hunter series. She did not expect it to be that hard.
Speaking of Monster
Hunter, she did not expect the movie to be like that initially.
Yeah,
so there were bigger plans, and it just didn't work out. And so usually when she appears in some of these movies, it's because, she personally does like the series, and also her husband probably has sway. But other than that, but that's usually the problem, is then it's like, oh, who's in charge of the writing? I
will say this much. I will say this much about the Alice Resident Evil movies. In Resident Evil, what was it, 2? When you actually saw Jill Valentine, I gotta give the wow. I was like, whoa, she looked exactly like Jill Valentine. I was like, wow.
No, and they said that in the behind the scenes, it's because she actually did. She took time to go like play the game, study her, read the materials. She figured out like the way she would think Jill would hold the gun in act. So she actually studied to be like Jill. So that's why she fits perfect.
I was legit shocked.
That moment she entered out, I didn't even have to like question. I was like, that's fucking Jill. That's
I was surprised.
The moment she entered in scene.
Wait, are the Alice Resident Evil movies still around? I thought they were done.
No, they finished. They finished in a horribly convoluted way, but yes, they finished.
Okay.
They got all the things on there, but they make another one.
She's free. She can do her own stuff now of whatever she wants. Technically, she makes music too, so she can just be doing that right now.
Oh, it's like that one lady who worked with Akira Yamaoka in the Silent Hill franchise, because she also played Major Kurosaki on Ghost in the Shell. She actually does have a band. Yeah, she made a lot of the Silent Hill music.
Because it was funny, because in the Underworld movies, there's a few of the songs that she's on. Like, it's not her song, but she's also in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just,
her
I'd always
Underworld.
look and I'd be like, I forgot you sing. You just...
Robert does raise a good point. I'd fuck with Underworld again. I'd fuck with Underworld
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, they had a couple
I
good
could
ones.
do with it coming back because it wasn't... You could understand where it was going. The worst where it hit, technically, was... For me, was when they tried to do the prequel.
Oh, yeah.
Because that kind of fucked up the canon that we already were kind of like, okay, we're cool with this. And then you're like, but this is what technically happened. And you're like, what?
The only thing I'd rather see in Underworld would be like actually having the Lycans having their own powers rather than just be like super agility, super strength. Because like you have the vampires like and they just have like super strength or something the older they get or whatever. And I'm just like, guys, like even I'm working on like vampires and werewolves and like all the other mythological creatures, stuff like that, and I'm like having their own abilities and stuff like that, like kind of like how werewolf kinda does it, but like it's...
Well, I mean, like it should be an easy thing to think because they always do that with vampires. They're like, oh, they're older, so they get more powers. It's never just like they suck blood better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no.
Yeah.
It's
The
his
older, they're
well,
stronger.
except for Dio. Dio did
Dio.
suck blood better because he doesn't even fucking have to touch it. He's across the goddamn room and the blood just comes to him.
See, I wouldn't mind if
You're just
Underworld
fucked.
they let that Dio crossover at the end. It's like, it's me, Dio. Like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
There's like in all movies where shit is going down bad, that's like just have Dio reveal himself. The Mummy and the Rise of the Dragon Emperor, it's not Jet Li anymore. It's me, Dio.
No,
I would rather,
Bram
like,
Stoker.
I would rather be...
Dracula, and then Dio still walks back out and like, there's still another one. Eh.
Yep, it's just Dio.
I would rather have an Underworld TV series than a movie franchise.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I honestly would be super cool with the TV series picking up where the movies left off. Because the movie left off where they're starting to, the hybrid's already running around. The daughter that's like part already hybrid, but extra hybrid thing, and they're trying to find her. But it's more current
what the
time,
series
and the
keeps
world
doing-
actually knows about the damn war. So if
the
they
whole
wanted to do a
series
series,
keeps
I feel like
dealing with
that would be awesome, because it'd be them trying to still do their maneuvers, but everybody is aware that vampires and werewolves are at war in broad daylight.
Okay, so then you can still have like more factions of people in the series. Like, well, I still don't like this because it's like racist. I still don't like this on board. And you have these older ones, and
and
they can
technically,
totally do
you
that.
can, just like the last movie, start having more human factions involved, just because they may think one works better to their favor. Because that's basically how the last movie, most of everything's getting done because humans are in the middle, and they're just like, we feel cooler with the werewolves. Yeah. And that's why a lot of things are getting done. It's just because if they had said, oh, okay, we like vampires better, werewolves would have been extinct. But they were more like, oh, okay, so y'all are werewolves? Then we're cool with that. But we're going to be really prejudiced against vampires and annihilate them down to, like, Selene. But we're cool with Selene because we can freeze her. She's fine. Everybody else got to go.
Well, she's a hot chick with tits, so yeah, we're definitely keeping her on board for
But
a
I
while.
just like that. I always thought that was just hilarious. Was like they captured Selene and Michael in the premise. I'm sorry if no one's ever watched it. Spoilers, blah, blah, blah. But in the premise of this, so you've had Selene and Michael for some time, taken their DNA, assumedly while they're asleep, and created a child. And that child knows that those are their parents and that have been frozen the whole time. But, by the time the movie picks up with her, she's like 16, I'm guessing. They put a 16-year-old actor. The lore could be she's fucking 12 for all I know. I don't. But point being is, so by the time you get to see Selene, when she wakes up, she's looking for Michael the whole time. You later find out Michael's dead. But you still got Dawn. But then she has to send daughter away, and then she has to wipe her own memory of where her daughter is to keep her safe. She's a uniquer blood than Selene, since Selene's the now true immortal, since she drank both the Corvus brothers. And it leads into, like, humans working with the light. So, with all that going on, at the start of that fucking movie, and Celine's waking up to, like, poems being the doors being kicked open so they can get sunlight in there to find out who the fuck is a vampire or not. Just in the world. In general. Like, you go from the first games where they're just walking in subways and gunfire happens and at worst people are thinking there's gangs, to they're fucking doing, like, Nazi treatment to the vampires. That's a
I could totally
jump
get behind it.
Yeah.
It also has some Logan-ish in there too with the kid.
Like,
too.
there's that story went wild when it got right at the end. The moment that they were like, we froze Selene, I was just like, oh no, we're finna time jump.
Yeah.
And if we're time jumping, we're just gonna not explain some shit that happened off on the side that probably needs explaining, like why humans are just okay with werewolves when I'm pretty sure they're killing and eating them casually too. Just not for their blood.
Would you allow to do this? Is like, I'll allow USA to run it. Maybe HBO, CW, keep your fucking hands off of this.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
okay.
No. They only are allowed to have it if they're running it as a rerun from someone else's channel. Then I will handle it.
Dude, you want to talk about rerunning shit?
I think USA can do it. They can run because they run the movies sometimes too, and sometimes they're okay with some series. They were okay with The Sinner. Chucky was in.
Which, are we talking about the Netflix Chucky?
No, talk about USA. Like, if it's going to be on series, like, if it's going to be a television series, and, like, one of the TV stations have to run this series, I'm like, I'm okay with USA doing it.
Okay.
Not TNT, not TBS. They'll go too kind of goofy on it.
Yeah, I don't think TBS would even take it.
Well, the only thing, you want to talk about rerunning shit though? I saw, like, they took the Berserk OVAs, the 3 OVAs, and then they just ran it as a fucking as a fucking anime series. I'm like, what?
I mean, if they were gonna, that's kind of dumb because officially, remember the first big complaint was, everybody's tired of the Golden Arc being redone. So then they're like, oh, okay, we're not redoing the Golden Arc. We're just going to do these Golden Arc movies to wrap everything condensely. And you're like, okay, cool. So now it's been condensed back to a series. So they essentially did the Golden Arc again.
No, they literally took the 3 OVAs of the Golden Arc and made them into an anime season. I'm like, what?
That is always the fail-safe when they try to be like, we're gonna advance in Bleach. I mean, not Bleach, in Berserk. And it goes horribly, and they'll be like, yeah, go back to that Golden Arc. We need money.
Jesus.
Everybody loves the Golden Arc.
Jesus Christ. And they didn't even, like...
Every time. That's the moment you know they're trying to get money for Berserk, is because Golden Arc will come out trying to look fancier, trying to drop some little lore nugget that's already been milked the fuck out. Leave the arc, pick any other arc and make a goddamn movie. Like, leave Golden Arc. There's already like 18 versions.
Ugh. Yeah, fucking.
It's so dumb.
It is. It really, really is. And it's just. It's fucking. Damn you. But like, wait, one thing I was gonna ask, didn't Underworld have a cartoon?
No.
Oh.
Not that I thought. I think there was like a small little OVA anime, like, independent thing that went with one of the movies. like it was side story thing, but there was never like a series or like someone released it in that. I think there was one that was kind of like Chronicles of Reddit, not
Yeah, no,
Kinda
yeah.
like Red
they had a
Black,
little
and then
short.
the
They had a
Butcher
little
Bay
kind
where
of
they did make the animation, and then they turned around and went to that.
It was like they did with the Animatrix too, like little shorts.
That
Yeah.
one.
Oh, okay,
What its
okay.
official name was.
Because I was gonna be like, if they did it like that, I'd be okay with that too.
No, depending on how they do the little shorts, if they're gonna do the little shorts and it's all consistently one director, or they're gonna do all the shorts and it's like 3 different artists.
Yeah, that's one thing that always bugged the fuck out of me. Why, if you're gonna do a short, fine, do the shorts, but like, just keep it consistent. This is why I didn't like the Boys when they did that whole animated season when they were showing like Vought, administering Compound V to like to people, because like the first episode was literally like an homage to old school animation. Like how you'd have, like, it was silent, you'd have, like, the cartoon sound effects in there, etc. And then episode 2 or 3 or something like that would be animated by the same animation team that did, like, Venture Brothers / Rick and Morty and all that nonsense.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Justin Rolland went down? Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, Justin Rolland got cleared.
Yeah, I heard about
No,
that.
hold up. No, he did not get cleared. The things got dropped. Does not mean he got cleared. There's so many times when shit get dropped in the Justice League. That doesn't mean you got cleared. Trump got cleared technically by the Mueller report. No, because one asswipe said some shit. Everyone believed this. Like, no. Just because there's not enough evidence to keep going does not mean you got fucking cleared, people.
No, well, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sorry, Robert. No, you're absolutely right. Because I was actually gonna the guy who played
watch your fucking kids. No,
the guy who played Kang Kang got cleared. That's what I sorry, Robert. But yeah. No, Robert's right. There's still, because like those allegations are still there, and it was really vague.
Text messages that were totally inappropriate. Like, totally inappropriate, man. Like.
He's still currently trying to walk those back.
Yeah, and like, I'm glad that they didn't give up on Rick and Morty, but they're just not having them there. But apparently he wasn't doing shit anyway, so like, whatever.
The guy who played Kang got cleared, though.
Oh, Jonathan Majors?
Yes, Jonathan Majors. That didn't even last long. That was like a day and a half of like...
I figured.
He was also in Creed 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, I figured the moment I heard something, I was like, no. I don't fully buy into that.
Okay, because here's the thing, it's like,
these
people are going to get cleared until like years coming up, and there's going to be more allegations, and it's just like, oh, there was more shit underneath the fin. Just like Bill Cosby, like, you know.
Well, it's not an apples to apples comparison, because apparently what happened was she, like, the person that was talking, his girlfriend, his ex, I'm assuming now, was kind of pissed at him talking to like another person, so she demanded his phone, and then she reported the strangulation, but then just recanted everything. Like, she personally recanted everything, and I'm just all like, oh, okay, it was just some bitch that was jealous. I wasn't gonna jump down his throat just yet, because I'm all like, okay, I know nothing on this person, I know nothing on this other person, I'll just wait for the evidence to play out. With Justin Rolland, that was a different thing altogether, because I think it was Robert that told me it was, I think it was Robert that told me about saying that it was, there were allegations of him with an underage girl, and I'm like, I'm not having any of that.
Yeah,
he already had stuff on him before. That's why with Jonathan Majors, I was like, no. He literally has his own family. He's normally to his own business. He's not. So the moment that there was an allegation, I was like, I don't buy it. I don't. He doesn't do enough to normally have this pop out and be believable. There's no traces. There's no. It's just this one thing out of nowhere. Usually someone has a... Because even if you're really good at covering things up, you're still gonna leave some form of a trail just because you obviously know what you're wanting to do. So there's gonna be a pattern of you doing something because you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. And
so
plus, there's usually people in your inner circle. Your people in your inner circle who know shit. Like, there's stuff that comes out, and people are like, "Yeah, I believe it," or like, "Yeah, he does this shit all the time. It doesn't get out there." While other ones is like, "What? You'd be shocked to hear about this."
When your actual inner circle has no clue of anything and no one knew anything, and it's just an allegation of something, it usually is pretty shady then, because no one knows anything even going on.
Right.
There's always one friend who's gonna pipe up for their chance to be in the limelight if you actually did something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, look at that Jabba Ranch shit. Like, look at how fast all those stories came up.
Yeah. It takes no time. That's how you know when someone actually did something. Because if they did it, and there's an allegation, and suddenly there's a flood of people confirming it, either they're really known to do something, and it may not necessarily be what they did, but they're known to do something because everybody clearly is ready to dogpile on. Yeah. But when you hear an allegation and then nothing else is heard, and that person can literally take their time, present their case and everything, yeah, somebody's probably randomly throwing that because nobody else jumped on it.
Yeah.
It was just sitting there. So, yeah, they're probably just being accused, and you can just wait and see if it's valid, but it's probably not. Because no one else is saying it.
No one else.
When those type of cases happen, it's very rarely only one person saying something about one time, ever. There's some other case, some other incident, something else has to have happened before. If you're just like, this person appeared and decided this day to strangle me.
Especially nowadays, when there's so many people texting and shit, it's like, you probably texted someone drunk, said something drunk. Mm-hmm. There's a paper trail out there.
So it's like 9 times out of 10, if someone gets an accusation of something and nobody else is joining on or like pushing it forward or anything, no, they're probably, I don't want to say 100%, but most likely they're being falsely done just by that fact that nobody else is trying to dogpile on and flash everything else they're doing. And I doubt they've kept everything so secret that everybody's just like, I didn't know shit about it.
Right, I mean, unless you're one of the very few people that everyone loves and will protect. Like, if anything bad came out about Betty White, I'd be like, nope.
Oh, yeah, no. I wouldn't have believed it for a long. You'd have to give me the evidence. Like,
I need a video tape.
I need to see her signature on it.
See her signature on it. Okay.
I need all the things.
I need all the things, he says. Okay. Well, either way, like yeah. But like on that note, because we're coming close to time. Thanks for tuning in to the Slab Lounge. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. On that note, like, I've been paying attention to the analytics, and like the people are watching. They're getting we're getting people. For the record, I just want to say thanks for those who are actually clicking the bell, because like I'm seeing like our people that are watching our stuff based on because they're getting ringtone notifications that our stuff is out. So we got that going, which is awesome.
Subscribing, cool.
Yeah. So
notifications on. Okay, yeah, 2 different things.
Yeah, they're actually
still same thing.
Well,
you're not gonna get notified if they didn't subscribe you.
That said, thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you again. Ooh, wow, my stomach. Come on, shut up.
You eating a burrito? Like, what up?
Yeah, it's like Revenge of the Burrito or something, even though I was just eating a McDonald's spicy chicken sandwich. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you again in 2 weeks where we will possibly watch The Dirty Pair, unless something stupid happens in media that makes me go like, fucking what? Anyway, you take care.